Hey there, folks. Welcome to our run of Monsterhearts by Avery Alder. As part of the Gauntlet Reading Club, we'll be drawing on Shannon McGuire's Every Heart a Doorway for inspiration. Before we get into things, I want to open with a quick round of introductions. I'm Steven, he, him. I'm the facilitator for the club and am GMing this run of Monsterhearts.
Yeah, hi, my name's David. I use he, him pronouns, and tonight I will be playing Jason, who also uses he, him pronouns. Jason is in the Siren playbook. Jason was taken away to perform as a musician on Mount Olympus, though since his return, he has been trying to kind of make a name for himself back in the mundane world and in the school itself, and recently has fallen into it's probably fair to say a passionate relationship with Bailey, and I'm just trying to think what I had done last time. But my memory is failing
We left
me at the
off
moment.
on you in the arms of Baron / the Master.
Of course. How could I forget? Yes, indeed, that was amazing. Yes. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that whole mess resolves itself.
I'm Marley, she, her, playing Grace, also she, her. She is a Fomorian. Her place is basically a Dungeons and Dragons dungeon where she was one of the monsters in the monster ecosystem. And the particular critters that she was living with are all blind like she is. So not only one of the ways that it was appropriate for her is that she got, even though it's somewhat morbid, she also got a chance to exist in a space where everything was designed for people like her, and really loved it, and is now back in the land where everything is designed for sighted people and really, really cranky about it. I too have kind of forgotten where we're at, except I remember Grace is going to burn down the school.
Yeah, that basically sums up where Grace was at last time. I think you were also wondering about what was up with Bailey, and we'll get into where Bailey because Bailey was at, because that's gonna impact you in a bit.
Hi, my name is Sabine. I use they pronouns. I'm playing Lee, who uses they them pronouns, and I'm very proud of you, Stephen, for finally getting their name right. Lee uses the Ghost playbook. They were in a place where they were gathering up lost emotions. They were not lost emotions, but discarded emotions. That was a very nice place where it was quiet and people didn't want anything from them, and they could just be themselves and go about their daily business, and they would be noticed by their compatriots. But now they're back, and either people don't notice them, which they don't much care for sometimes, or people do notice them, and that there is this weird guy about who claims that, yes, he has to hurt Lee, so they really want to go back or something like that, and he's not too sure if they really wanted to go back that badly. Or maybe they do. Who knows? Anyway, they have now thrown in with Grace to burn down the school for, I'm not entirely sure about the reasoning here, but if Grace thinks it's a good idea, it probably is. So.
Yeah, hi, I am Kay. I use she, they pronouns. And tonight I will be playing Bailey / Baron, or I don't know how / Baron he is right now, since as the Infernal, he has recently wrought about the bringing back of his master, his dark master, into the material plane, materialized as Baron, the person Bailey was before he transferred into the world that he was from, which we call belonging outside of belonging, a sort of DS, very structured society with a sort of master and pet dynamic to it. He is currently in Darkest Self, absolutely falling over himself to please Baron, who, unbeknownst to him, is with Jason right now, the person that he has been quite infatuated with lately, doing all kinds of things. Well, I think if I recall correctly, and please let me know if I'm wrong, I think Bailey has been given a mission by Baron to go find Grace.
Yeah, and this game is hosted through the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet is an online gaming community mostly focusing on role-playing games of the Indie and OSR varieties. Besides publishing a zine called The Codex, it also puts out several podcasts about role-playing games, and of course, it organizes a gaming calendar, which this and many other games are organized through every month. The calendar is open to non-members, so feel free to jump on over there through the link below if you're interested in playing with any of the folks here tonight or any of the other people on the Gauntlet. All Gauntlet games make use of an open door policy. We are all here to have fun and tell a story together. If something happens in real life or you become uncomfortable at the table, feel free to step away as long as you need. No one will hold it against you, and you are free to return whenever you feel ready. If you are able to let the group know if and when you expect to return, that would be helpful for the rest of us in terms of framing scenes, but we understand that sometimes emergencies happen and it's not always possible. Besides the open door, we also make use of several other safety tools, which I won't be getting into too much detail about because we're all well familiar with them at this point. But they are script change, the X card, and lines and veils. So yeah, that takes us through our opening spiel. So I think where we want to open, I'm curious. So I know that the last time we left off, Lee had said that they were gathering some supplies from around the school to aid in this arson plan. And I'm wondering, where was Grace setting up to start this this fire to destroy the school?
Well, she was trying to have multiple places where it would start, because you can't just, it's a large school. You can't just assume it's going to spread appropriately. You have to think about these things. So yes, her plan involved disabling sprinkler systems and that sort of preventative measure. And where would be a good place? Let us declare that there is an old auditorium sort of at the center of the school where they have like assemblies that has lots of old wood in it. And that's going to be the spark.
Mm-hmm. And I'm curious, Bailey, how would you know to go looking for Grace there?
So, I have an idea. I'm going to ask you to be mildly liberal with some language, but I think the intents and purposes are still there. I would use a string on Elsewise Power to take or borrow the move Heightened Senses from the werewolf. I would then do a roll, and if I am successful, I would like to use the what's my way in question. So it's a little liberal on the usage of way in because I'm trying to like get to someone instead of into some like place, but I feel like that's not an abuse of it. I feel like that's sort of akin to some of the meaning there.
Yeah, give me this role, and what does it look like as you channel this?
Yeah. So there's this desperate wide-eyedness to Bailey in his darkest self. And as he's stumbling, and I think he gets past Grace's room and no, she's not there. He gets past her garden and it's a sundered mess of things that once were flame. And there's a desperation crawling along his skin, and he knows he can't do this himself. He's not good enough. He just can't. And he sort of leans back and offers more of himself to Baron. And as he does that, his sideburns on his hair sort of tickle, and his eyes flash this sort of almost glare against the color there. It goes vibrant. And he breathes in deeply to try and as he's heightening his senses, or at least attempting to. And that is a 6 + 3 + 2. That is an 11. So I get to ask 3 questions below and take a forward. So yeah, I think he catches the scent, as I will utilize the first part of that move, which is what's my best way in, or what's my best way to Grace?
Well, I think that your best way in, because we know that Grace, you know that Grace is going to be like listening for people to interfere with her plan. So I think that the best way would be probably to climb in through one of the auditorium like windows, which have which aren't, so that you can avoid like her hearing you like stepping along the creaky floorboards of the auditorium.
Yeah, so I think Bailey, with this information, will sort of move around, doing his best to keep quiet and get to one of those auditorium windows and start climbing.
Mm-hmm. And Grace, what does Bailey see as we see his head like peek in through the window?
So he will see a couple of barrels of suspicious substances, fertilizers, some gasoline. So there's some wires and electronics, car batteries, stuff like that. And she is clearly up to no good. And then she's also got some of her chemicals, some of her plants sort of in sort of a Erlenmeyer flask Bunsen burner situation, doing something that can't possibly be good.
Do I need to roll anything, or does he just get in just fine?
I think you can get in just fine.
Yeah, he's athletic.
That was an 11 there.
Yeah, I also have more questions, and
Sure.
I would like to ask one, which is looking at Grace. What's their secret weakness?
What is Grace's secret weakness right now? She's in her darkest self. So she hates everything right now. And that could possibly make her easy to manipulate.
All right. And my secondary question would be, what poses the biggest threat to me right now? Or almost less to me, but more so like my mission, my goal. Because I don't care about me right now. I care about my goal. Not that I care about me much to begin with, but...
I think that you sense this place is charged. There is a thinness here, almost like whatever Grace is doing is piercing some kind of membrane between this and another place.
And ooh, this is spicy. I think Bailey reaches out in his head for Baron, for his master. I've found her. What exactly do you want of me to do with her? I know you want me to hurt her, but is there something specific I must do, or? I just want to do this right for you.
Reach into her and take what makes her special. And I think it's that point that you hear a little bit of, just as you're hearing, because you have that connection, a little bit of the and you have that in heightened senses right now. You probably hear a little bit of the murmur of Jason's guitar in your head.
And I think he can't even help it. He's just like, Jason?
He's not here. It's just you and me.
Okay. Yeah, of course. It's yeah, Jason's really great. But yes, I will do this. I will reach in and try and take what is special. I will do that. For you. Always for you. Always for you.
Mm-hmm.
I love you.
Take care of it, Bailey.
Yeah. And so I think Bailey is going to start doing his best to try and like sneak up onto, he's going to try and sneak up onto her. And try and, I don't know exactly how that might look like. I don't know if Bailey does either. But he's going to try. Actually, I need to roll a dice because I have an idea, but I don't know if I'm sure if Bailey would have this idea. So I'm like 50-50. Is he clever enough to think to actually do this? Or is this just Kay who knows too much? Go
ahead. I was going to ask you if you're sneaking up to keep your cool here, if that works.
Oh, okay.
And I think like this is sort of the thing. Like when you lash out physically, I see it as like they to some degree see it coming and can exchange harm, whereas you're trying to frame things as sneaking up here.
Yeah. So let's go with keep it cool. I have a +1 forward from my success with heightened senses.
And you also get +1 from
fulfilling my master's orders.
Yes, because he has more than 3 strings on you.
Yes, because he has more than 1 strings on me, so that's +2. I have a -1 to cold, so that just makes it a 1. But I do have a string on grace. Do I have to declare my string use now, or can I wait?
Let's see here. I think it needs to be spent for pulling strings. They need to be spent before, I think.
Okay, so I'm going to take that up to a +2.
Okay.
Oh, I did not need that. That is a 6 + 5 + 2. That is a 13.
Oh man. Oh, actually, yes. I forgot to ask. What are you afraid of is going to happen here?
I think he's afraid of I guess 2 things. The first thing would be that he would fail his master, and just the worst. He's terrible. He's useless. He needs to please Baron. Baron has already shown him that he has become lackluster in his time here away from his master, and he cannot fail him again. And then there's a part of him that is also a little, a little scared of what Grace will do.
Mm-hmm.
And how this might impact the friendship he has with Grace, because he does care for her, but he is so alone and needy right now, and his hands shake. He can't not.
Cool. And what does it look like as you sneak up on Grace? How do you strike at her when she's not expecting it?
Yeah, I think he's sort of leaning into this sense that he sees himself as being gifted by the master. This wolfishness that allows him to stalk. But it's strange because his movements are predatory, but everything visually about him just screams prey, screams the terrified tremble of a rabbit, and not of like the actual like movements and languidity of a wolf as he stalks back forward and forward until he is at Grace's back, and I think his hands come out, and it sort of extends a bit to that wolfish barks. No, giving up his cover entirely. No, as his fingers sort of elongate into claws, and he just sinks them into Grace's back to pull out whatever it is. He knows he's got a hold on whatever it is. He's not sure what that is, but it is the thing that is special about her that Baron wants.
Oh man, what does this feel like, Grace?
So Grace has been so caught up in her own business, so apparently she did not notice someone was coming up behind her and attacking her. You know, I had a friend take him for a walk so that he would be chill, and then suddenly there was a squirrel.
Squirrel. It's okay. Bailey's just barking his success.
Okay. All right. So it's so she feels these claws. So of course there is the physical pain, you know, sinking into her shoulders. But
Yeah.
So what does it feel like to have the special part of you removed? Is that part of it too? So so it is her ingenuity that he's trying to draw out, but possibly they have miscalculated because it is connected to her blindness.
Right.
That is part of who she is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't just take that out. But I'm going to ask you to mark a harm and the condition mundane.
Mm-hmm.
But someone has attacked you, Grace. You felt their claws sink into you. What does Grace do here?
Sorry, I've made a mistake on the spreadsheet and I've lost one of my stats. Here we go. Mundane and mark a harm?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as it turns out, Grace was mostly expecting to be attacked today. Because that has been happening a lot lately. So she is, of course, going to lash out physically. And she is going to, she has a packet of powder at her side, and she is going to open it up and just throw it behind her on Bailey. Or she actually isn't sure who it is, just someone hurting her.
What is this powder?
It is something. It is something from her garden. It's that hallucinogen.
Oh, spicy.
Is this, would you say this is overkill?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if this is overkill. Someone just stabbed you and you're throwing powder at
It is
them.
not yeah. Oh, it says unnecessary force or overkill. So this could be like, just because like overkill is not necessarily unwarranted. It is more than you needed to do to handle it.
Yeah, she probably could have used lesser measures. She is choosing not to because she is in general pissed off.
Mhm.
But yeah, I also agree that when someone has physically stabbed you, you get to. It is hard to say any form
Yeah.
of self-defense is truly unwarranted.
So you get enraged.
Okay.
And would you like to now tag that condition enraged for
Heck
the
yeah.
slash? Cool. So you're rolling with a +2 here.
+2.
To lash out physically.
Okay, and then my volatile on top of that, or does that include that?
That's including the volatile you have, yeah.
Okay.
And if you have any strings on Bailey, you can feel free to also spend them.
Oh, heck yeah. It's the last session. What are we keeping these things around for?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I
that's
think
fun.
you can spend a string. I believe.
Yeah,
They don't
a
stack.
string. So you can get a +3 total here.
Okay, let's do that. And that's a 10.
Yeah, that's a 10.
I take a harm.
Yeah. So first off, Bailey is taking 2 harm here because of your move.
Ooh, okay.
And on a 10+, they choke up momentarily before they can react. And I'm also going to ask here because you can also spend another string if you want to add a 3rd harm to this grace, because you have the strings there.
Sure.
And I just wanted to check in. Is everybody okay with this? Because this is going to be messy.
Yep.
You're good.
Okay.
I'm also hallucinating now? Question mark.
Yeah, this seems like take that condition as well. I guess that's what it's going to be here. If you're cool with that.
Yeah,
Bailey.
that's fine.
So
It
how
makes
exactly
sense.
are you striking out? Because you're dealing 3 harm here total, Grace, which is like 3/4 of like dead.
I'm like a step from dead.
Yes.
I'm real fucked up.
Okay, yeah. So this powder is a more concentrated form than what she and Lee experienced because she was planning to have to use it on Mamoru, who I think is who she thinks has attacked her because Lee got scratched. And so, you know, and the giant taser she had attached to her door didn't take him down. So she is going all out here. I think also she feels part of herself being tugged. And she will scream at him, "Oh, you want what it is to be me? You can't handle what it is to be me. Here, take everything." And like all of her rage and anger at the world and everyone around her and her profound sense of betrayal and fury just sort of blasts into Bailey.
Oh. And I think as you feel the world around you start to heat with that sheer force of your anger, I think we're going to shift over a moment to Lee. Lee, you were gathering stuff for Grace. But I'm curious, you happen to spot, I think, as you are moving through the campus, Jason, and he seems to be with, it looks like, Bailey. But I think we've established before your ability to see the kind of essence of people, and it's really strange. You know that you saw Bailey and he had this thing growing out of him before. Now that you're looking at Bailey now, there's nothing there. It's like Bailey is just a absence on the second side of yours.
That's weird. It's really weird. Let me just check something real quick, because I think I am Jason's fan. Am I not? I like Jason. Yes, I like Jason. I like his music. So I think I'll just, we can burn down the school in half an hour later, right? I mean, if it's not there anymore, kind of, well, anyway. So I think I feel that I have no idea how to warn Jason about this whole thing, but I kind of have to, don't I? I mean, nobody else would notice that something's off with Bailey, and maybe it's not, but you never know.
I think even though Jason is on Bailey's lap, I think as you approach, Bailey unusually is looking straight at you, Lee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he doesn't do that usually, so yeah, I look back, I guess. I'm not used to people looking at me. So I just look back and I go over and I say, hey, Jason, can I have a look? Can I talk to you for a sec?
Oh, Jason's busy right now.
Jason, maybe I'm talking to you, not whoever that is.
What is it, Lee? I'm sure it's nothing.
I don't know.
Bailey runs his finger along the collar around Jason's neck.
And I think while this is going on, Jason is kind of what's what I'm looking for? Sort of searching through the the pouches on his backpack until he pulls out like a pack of guitar string and is going to start looping it through the collar. And
can we just talk and just for a moment? I mean, he'll be here after, right? Jason, it's kind of important, I think. Please. And I would offer you a string. I have one on you.
Yeah, sure. I will accept that. And I think I will give Baron kind of a bit of a half an eye roll and just say, sure thing, Lee. And I'll kind of hop off Baron's lap and walk over to them and say, yeah, what is it?
I'd say rather quietly, Jason, something's wrong with that guy. It's really, really wrong. I don't know how to explain this, but Bailey was always a mess, but this guy, he's not anything. He's just a hole. Haven't you felt that something's off there?
Well, he's a little bit more self-assured than usual, but honestly, that's a good thing.
It would maybe be a good... I don't know. How did Bailey get so self-assured all of a sudden? Bailey never has been self-assured since we've been here in school, don't you? Can you see?
Maybe I'm a good influence on him.
Yeah, maybe you are. I don't know, but whatever that is over there, that is not good. That will suck you dry, Jason.
Well, I don't like to kiss and tell, but
I don't mean it like that. I don't care what you do in your, please spare me. But you have, and your soul is so beautiful, Jason. I can see it, that when you play music, and he will take that from you. There's this thing, he will take that from you. Please, I know you don't believe me. I really do. I know that, but I needed to warn you. Just maybe don't walk into this with your eyes all starry and closed. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Just
I don't know. I don't know how or what you think you see in all this, Lee, but thank you for telling me anyway. And look,
maybe I can show you, because I've took a new move and I want to use that. I mean, it's very dependent on the dice, right? But when you roll the 10 or up to gaze into the abyss, you can choose to get confusing and alarming visions and share them with people. And that's what I want to do, but I need to not roll a 10 plus and up, 10 and plus and something like that. But I've only got one dark plus 1 and I don't have any strings left to use.
You can spend a string. Oh.
No, I can't.
Yeah,
I don't have any more strings left.
You're basically looking for information about Bailey. You could spend that string you have on him.
That's fair. I'll take that. I'm all stringless then. Okay, let's go. Let's see how that goes. No, hey, I've got a 6, so I even failed the roll itself. Oh, well.
Oh.
I get an XP.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that you can see, Lee, that this not Bailey has his eye upon you.
Mm-hmm.
And as you kind of reach out, maybe, are you trying to hold Jason's hand to, share this vision with him? Would that be, is that, you think, something you're doing?
If he lets me. I'm not usually grabby, but maybe I reached out a hand and kind of touched him.
I think that you can give Jason a glimpse of what is really there. But the Baron is going to know what you've done and is going to want to make certain you don't get in his way.
Yeah, well, we can try. Yeah, I'll step back. I think I'm a little just be careful.
And I think, what does it feel like, Jason, as when Lee touches your hand? Lee touches your hand. What does it feel like as they share just a glimpse of their vision with you?
Yeah. I think it's almost like everything just goes really hazy for a moment, almost kind of foggy sort of things. And I think it's not so much that what Jason sees per se, but I think just there's that kind of almost like vertigo and like smoky, like clouded vision for a moment.
And I think when you look back up at this knot Bailey, there is just a darkness there, a absence of light, and his form is different. It feels like something wearing a Bailey's skin. But you can still hear him talking with Bailey's voice. Jason, are you going to get away from them? I wanted some alone time with you.
Sorry, I don't know what happened there. I think maybe it's better if I just go and have a bit of a lie down. I think maybe I've been overdoing it.
I think that they are saying things about me that they shouldn't be. And I think that meddling little nobodies should know their place.
I'm not nobody.
Then why can't anybody ever see you, Lee?
Because not everybody looks close enough doesn't mean I'm nobody. People are easy to fool. They don't like to see the truth. Doesn't mean it's not there.
And sometimes seeing the truth is just the stupidest thing to do. And he is getting closer and closer to you, Lee.
We're in a hallway or something?
I think you were out near the fountain.
Oh, okay. That's not so great. I think I'll kind of step back a little, not too far, just to get him a little ways away from Jason, maybe. I say, well, yeah, but you know what they say about the truth, right? They say the truth has wings. And I start flying. Just a little bit up so he can still talk to me, but he can't reach me. If he lunges, he would maybe reach me because I'm not doing that too fast, but too quickly. But
Jason, have you seen Lee do this before?
No, I don't think so. And yeah, I think Jason is going to look shocked and say, what's going on? Is this real?
it's as real as it gets, I guess. Unless you're home.
It's real. I'm just Bailey, but better. Just like you're better than Lee, better than so many of the other students here. There's something special in you, Jason, and I just want to bring that out.
Like you brought out the best in Bailey?
Sometimes a person's best self is just never going to be worth more than the collar you put him in.
Bailey's scared of you.
Bailey loves me.
He's still scared of you.
I think he's right to be.
Mm-hmm. So do I.
I am very scary. And I'm curious, I feel like I want to ask you to keep your cool here.
Yeah, feels appropriate. And I'm rolling that with cold, right?
Yeah, and what are you, before we roll, what are you afraid of happening here?
I'm afraid that he can make it so that people don't see me. They can take all the attention away from me and I can't get it back.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Give me a roll with cold here then, please.
Okay. Yeah, it's 13. I'm cool. I'm a ghost. I'm cool. That's the basic.
So yeah, you keep your cool and gain insight. Ask the MC a question about the situation.
How can I make him lose his cool?
I think, if you bring up the fact that he's just nothing more than a little parasite.
Okay. So I will
grow out of Bailey and other people.
Yeah, I will then say to Jason, actually, see, Jason, this thing, it's just a kind of parasite, like a tick, growing strong on other people's weakness, and that's what he will do to you. That's what he means, bringing the best out of you. He hasn't got anything good of himself. That's why he needs the good of other people.
I am not a parasite, child. I am the master. And Jason will give me himself. Jason, what do you do?
I'm I think I'm going to look Baron up and down, and say, I thought it was kind of hot when I still thought you were Bailey, but honestly, now you're just coming across as a little desperate. I think I can probably do better if it's all the same to you. And he's just going to kind of cross his arms and flounce off. And I think this is probably going to be shutting him down.
Yeah, I think that because he has lost his cool here, you can actually shut him down. I'd say otherwise it would be a bit difficult. Because he is like a villain.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. I will just... That's an 8.
Cool. So you get to pick one from the shut someone down. I think he currently has no strings on you. He used up his last string. So you can either get a string on him, give him a condition, or take +1 forward.
Yeah. I think I'm going to... I think I'm actually going to take the string on him here. I think that feels like the most... most appropriate.
And I think as he says, as you walk away, Jason, he says, I could have made you something, Jason. I could have made, and I think he's definitely losing his cool here, actually. This is all like said, like, I could have made you something, Jason. I could have elevated you above something like that. And he points at Lee. But you've just chosen to be a nobody with them. And that's the condition I'm giving you, nobody.
Awesome. I like it.
And then I think it's at that moment that you smell the whiff of smoke.
Oh, has she already started? Damn it. I think I say that loud because I'm so used to people not hearing me. But I think Jason might have heard that. And I'm floating off.
Yeah. And were you going to do something, Jason?
Yeah, I think Jason's intent was to go off and find Bailey, but I think with the smell of smoke, I think he's possibly going to be slightly more, well, both more what's the word, like more driven to do that, but also a bit more cautious about the whole is there a fire thing.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, you might want to look for that, Jason. Where there's smoke, well, I think you'll find a hot mess like Bailey. And I think that is where we fade to black. As we flip back to this auditorium, I'm wondering, you had all that stuff set up for the fire, Grace. But you kind of mentioned this notion that, like, you had just charged some of your anger behind it. How can we tell that the fire is not just from like the supplies you brought? How is it coming from Grace?
So Grace is interesting. So Grace, I think, is starting to connect with her home realm. And one of the creatures there was a dragon, yes. And the dragon was slain. That was the big boss dragon of the dungeon and was replaced with necromancers and the sorcerer and stuff like that. And she had to defeat those. And so the world, the dungeon is currently without its master villain. and it is reaching out towards her to come back and be the dragon. So it's not just that we're seeing flames in the traditional sense, but we are starting to see the flames whirl in a particular pattern that might start to be looking like a door.
Oh, cool. And I'm wondering, Bailey, as you're here, you are in a bad place, and you looking up, you can see that what about Grace has like, well, yeah, I guess what about Grace shows that she is a dark power unto herself. Bailey, are you there?
Oh, I'm sorry. For some reason, I didn't realize that was directed at me. For some reason, I was like, oh, yes, I'm waiting for Marley to answer.
Sorry.
I think there is that fierceness there. And I think from the wisps of the marks where his fingers had clawed in, there is just this like effervescent flame. Yes, pork indeed. There's this effervescent flame that is just ebbing and flowing where like the wounds are, and perhaps there may be even like closing. And those holes are like, and let me know if this is not okay, Marley, are like small pricks of scales have like formed over where those marks were from the attack.
And small pricks of scales that might have a slight tip as if some wings might be thinking about coming out.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm into it.
And go for it.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, and in that moment, Bailey is desperate, not necessarily seeing things correctly, and is in so much pain. But he has a mission that he has to do. And he is still behind, if I recall, Grace. And is going
I think
to
Grace turned around to like spray you with the dust, right?
Oh, okay. I thought she like had thrown it over her shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there has been soliloquies and stuff like that, so she probably turned around at this point.
Yeah, you're at 3 harm, so she had space to turn around.
No, that's fine. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
So I think he sort of sees that and stumbling on his feet, he's trying to think of a way to make this right. Or right maybe is the wrong word, but still accomplish his goal. Because he has to. He can't not. And he is going to lunge for her neck and offer a string to use the feeding.
Oh, man. Do you have any strings out of curiosity? Like, do you want to either make a move here or offer a string to Grace to let you do this?
I think I might have used my last Grace string in the keep your cool.
Oh, okay. I see your. Okay. I guess you just didn't update it.
Oh, wait. No, I guess I might have had 2. I'm honestly not sure.
If you want to tempt Grace here, feel free.
Yeah, I will offer you the string, Grace.
How are you trying to tempt Grace?
I think there's like a whine that is very like escapes his throat, and it's like hurting, and it's one that Grace has heard before from Bailey in some of his like weaker moments where she has then sought to comfort him. And maybe that like puts her in that headspace, like this is that, like that Bailey is here and Bailey is hurting and something is wrong or he's upset.
So I'll take that. So I think Grace genuinely thought she was fighting the Maru. And so the thing I think you get from this string from her is sudden recognition that, no, this is Bailey. And while that's not going to buy you much, because Bailey did in fact attack her, she is sufficiently surprised that she pauses and says, Bailey?
And that maybe
completely incredulous. Yeah.
Yeah. And that maybe gives him the opportunity.
Yeah.
You have the opportunity to then sort of lean in and bite.
Cool. So both of you mark XP. And I think Grace actually marked 2 XP total because you also accepted the string tempt.
Yes, you mark 2, I mark 1.
And is this a system where I can immediately spend things?
Yep.
Okay, let me figure out if I'm grabbing a dragon skill or Cinder Child.
I have to grab a move also.
Okay, but first off, let's just the feeding.
Yeah, the feeding.
Open that up. Could you read it if you have it open?
Yeah, this was a choice. You feed on hot blood direct from the source. This is the first time they've ever been fed upon. You both mark experience. When you feed, choose 2. You heal 1 harm. You take 1 forward. They definitely don't die. And I'm going to heal 1 harm, and I'm going to take 1 forward.
So yeah, I think that we'll bring in the other characters in just a moment here, but I think that you had that moment, and I'm wondering why Grace does this initially, like when this first starts, like there was that moment of shock, and what about this feeding? How does this feeding feel? Why don't you immediately push Bailey off?
So what exactly is this move that Bailey is doing?
So it's the vampire move, the feeding. So sort of imagine, or this is how I'm viewing it, and you can see this. We can go in further. So he's gotten close to you, and he's looped his arms around your neck, and is sort of nuzzled in, and then placed his mouth right against that sort of juncture between your neck and your shoulder, and his eye teeth have fanged and sort of sunk in, and he is almost greedily, with a sort of shaking fervor. It's almost like a kitten that's been out in the cold. You know, there are teeth and they are biting, but there is still this desperateness to attain warmth and safety. But there is still a feebleness there.
Okay. So I think it feels, so on some level, it feels like Bailey and helping Bailey, who has helped her so many times in the past. So like there's this instinct in her to just go along with it and let him take what he needs, since he is so very desperate.
Yeah. And go ahead and mark 1 harm. And you can tell that is it even that what he needs or just what he wants from you? You could tell that if you just let him, he will take everything.
Yeah. And I think that's what pulls her to her senses.
I'd like to ask you to make a keep your cool here then.
Okay.
And what are you afraid is going to happen?
I think I'm afraid he is going to kill me.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, do I have anything that... Okay, keep your cool. Yeah. So I don't think any of my moves give me adders.
Yeah.
But this is cold, so +2.
Yep.
9.
Okay. So on a 9, I believe I give you a... The MC will tell you how your action would leave you vulnerable, and you can choose to back down or go through with it. I think that you can focus yourself upon Bailey here and throw him off, but it's going to expose like you're going to be, your attention's going to be so much on Bailey that maybe this attack that you planned on Mamoru is going to turn into a trap for you.
So I think Grace wants to power through. Grace has dragons don't scare me, which means when I get a 9, I keep her cool and don't back down. Someone else in the scene gets terrified, which is probably Bailey.
Yeah.
And I think what she does is I have just grabbed Cinder Child, which means she's immune to fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she is going to put her arms back around Bailey, so she's embracing him back. And she is going to fall back with both of them into the flames.
Okay. And I think it's at that point...
Are we all okay with that?
Yeah. Are you okay with that, Bailey, to check in?
Oh, yeah, cool. Have another string. I'll take Cinder Child. I'm also immune to flames.
Oh man, but still, this is terrifying, and I think that, like, because she gets what she wants.
Bailey's scared. Bailey's scared, but he's just not going to get burned to death.
Yeah, Lee, Jason, you come to the auditorium, and it's on fire. Bailey and Grace, they're both just they've both just fallen into flames, but it's weird. Neither of them looks like, their clothes look charred, but neither of them looks burnt. And beyond that, as Grace brought up, is a door forming out of smoke, and it is growing larger and larger. What's I'll throw over to Lee here. I assume you get here first because you have can just walk through walls. Jason had to go through hallways and doors like a regular person.
Fair enough. I will walk through walls to get to Grace pretty quickly. I don't think I can walk. Can I walk through fire? I've never tried it. Maybe not. Anyway, my first instinct is getting her out of the fire because, I don't know, doesn't seem like a good idea to be on fire. That wasn't what we planned anyway. So, yeah, and then Bailey's here without his thing. Anyway, I don't know about Bailey. I don't care about Bailey that much. Sorry.
I think because Grace is not in explicit danger from the fire because Grace is just immune to it.
Hmm.
You can pull Grace out of the fire fairly easily if you want.
I would like to try that because I don't know what's going on, and it's easier to talk to her and figure out what's going on when she's not on fire or not immediately on fire.
Yeah.
I think, and maybe it's her door that's forming, and she should
Grace,
see that.
You've fallen back into the flames, but you feel a hand grab you and pull you out, and it's Lee. What do you do?
Oh, I will tell her that it's me. I forgot, but Lee wouldn't have.
Yeah.
They will say, Grace, it's me, Lee. I'm pulling you out. Because she wouldn't know who it is pulling her out.
Right.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay, and at that point,
you could probably also tell from she is. Grace has handled your hands so many times this series, Lee, that I'm pretty certain she can tell.
I'm fair of it. I'm down with that.
It's the slight intangibility of the hand.
Yeah.
So she will cooperate fully with being pulled out. And she will say, that complete fuck Bailey just jumped in here and clawed me across the back. Why does he even have claws? And then he bit me.
Wow.
He needs to be burned.
Okay, yeah, his master's out. Try to get to Jason.
Master? His master clawed me?
No, his master. I think this is I don't know what I was out there, and there was Bailey's master, and he was trying to get Jason to be his new thing, I guess. I might have talked Jason out of it. Hopefully.
I think you hear a soft sob from Grace's arms, because if I recall, she's like holding Bailey.
Oh, she was, though when she was getting pulled out, I think she stopped.
Oh, okay.
If you want to say he pulled himself out, I mean, I'm cool with that. But
no, wait a second. I just thought she was holding him, so he would have heard this. But that's okay.
And I think, Jason, as you come in, this is, as we've established kind of how the scene looks. What is Jason's response here?
Yeah, I think Jason is just going to kind of, yes, probably not running in, but will kind of move faster when he sees the actual fire, and probably has been moving a little as he's got closer. But I think he's just going to sort of look around and say, why is everything on fire? Bailey, are you okay?
I think Bailey looks up. And he's shaking, and he's also like covered in his own blood.
Does he also look like a werewolf?
I think not as entirely a werewolf, because I think the move has sort of faded. I've used it, but like maybe you see some receding of like hair and fangs on his face, and his hands are shaking as like his nails return from claws to normal. But he looks a downright mess, and I imagine his eyes are also dinner plates, considering he's drugged and hallucinating? Question mark? Honestly, if there's not a... Oh, sorry, go for
it. No, I was going to say, and I think Jason is going to head over to Bailey and try and kind of help him to his feet. And get him away from the fire.
Yeah, and I think he goes with you, and every you as soon as you touch him, you just tell every part of him is trembling. There's like a slight unhealthy sallowness to his skin right now. I have to. I'm sorry. Thank you, Jason. I have to do something. And he's a little off kilter on his feet as he's like still staring at Grace.
I think we should get you to a doctor. You don't look well.
I think that's when you hear the voice, Bailey. I don't want Grace anymore. Fuck Grace. Take Jason.
Sorry, Kay had a thought. And I think he's like, what do you want? Of course, I can bring Jason to you. I think you'll both get along really well. He's wonderful.
I don't want all of him. Take what he has and kill the rest.
Oh God. Like for a moment, Jason, you feel Bailey's hands like grip on your arms far too tight. Before he lets them go and sort of pushes himself away from you. And he's like, please, not that. And he starts talking out loud. And like he's saying it to Baron, but he's saying it aloud. He's like, please, not that. Please, not that.
We really do need to get you some help. I don't know what's happened here, but I don't think we should hang around here any longer. And is going to start like trying to wrangle Bailey towards the door.
And any step closer you take to him, Bailey takes a step away.
Yeah. And I do think it's as you say that we need to get out of here. That with the wind, the doors to the auditorium slam shut. And I think, Grace, you're the first person to realize that this is a trap that that all of you have been lured into. And that door grows and grows. And I think that there is, for a moment, just the darkness of the smoke. And that's when I think you all see it. It is an eerie, ghost-like house in the night. And Lee's the one who recognizes what this is. It's the Not Mother's house. But it looks like something has wrecked it. The door is torn off its hinges. Windows are broken.
Fuck. And that's Lee. Like, oh well, fuck. I know what this is. Wow. We don't want to go there.
Exposition, please. What's going on?
There is a door, and I thought it might be yours, but it's not. I think it's a kind of a trap. I think it's Mamaru who's doing that. He's taking me here, there, wherever that door leads, and it's getting bigger, so we'll all get sucked in eventually, I think, maybe. He took me there before. I don't know. He claimed it was kind of my mother's, but this wasn't my mother. It wasn't my mother. My mother's not like that. My mother isn't sad. She doesn't know what that would be like.
I think you can see Mamaru in the doorway, and he says, "Are you going to wait out there all day? You should come in. The only way out's through, after all." Lee, you have a friend here who's, well, wants to see you again.
Don't think that's my friend. What? Look to Grace. Grace, I don't know if we can get out any other way. I mean, I might walk through the wall, but I don't think it's burning, and I'm not immune to it. I don't think I can walk through fire.
I know it sounds weird, but apparently I can walk through fire, so I'm actually okay with staying in the burning building rather than trusting the terrible person who has tried to kill you.
Like, to be clear, like this door, it's not just growing like wide, it is like expanding through the room.
Yeah, well, if you want to go, you should go now, because this is swallowing us up.
Well, that seems bad. Which way is the not being swallowed up direction? And she will totally take your hand and like,
yeah,
okay, let's
and
go.
I don't think we can get out of here. The door's shut, and I can't get through. But I can't take you with me. And also, there's Bailey. Okay, I mean, but there's also Jason.
He's very murderous. Stay away from Bailey.
Yeah, but there's Jason. Jason's not murderous.
Well, that's good. Fewer murderous people is good, but still more than 0 is not okay. Dealing with Bailey? Is Bailey an immediate threat?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure. I don't think so.
She takes a knife out of her pocket just in case.
Why do you have a knife in your pocket?
Because evil things were trying to kill us.
Fair. That's a good point. Okay, I'll take you to the wall, and then I don't know. Jason, and I look over at Jason. What's Jason doing? Because we can all go to the wall and then be swallowed up by this thing, because I'm not leaving Grace and Jason behind. Sorry, Bailey, I leave you behind.
You're fine. You're fine.
Because, I don't know. No, maybe I won't leave you. I probably wouldn't leave you.
You do actually want to save me. Isn't that like your thing?
I wanted to save you, but you know what?
It's not fair. It's fair.
I don't know if I can. But maybe I can. Yeah, we'll see. I won't leave any of you behind. Anyway, I'll get Grace to the wall and see if Jason and Bailey are there, and then we'll get swallowed by this thing. Because I won't walk through the wall without you.
Yeah, I think Jason is probably sort of trying to, is doing that kind of like approaching a frightened animal type thing with Bailey. And probably trying to make sure that he isn't backing towards the fire again. But yeah, that's I think that's probably where he's at.
Yeah, it's probably almost like a herd situation, funnily enough, where Bailey is being backed into the wall you want to go to. Like, by coincidence, as Jason is trying to not herd him into the fire, so he's specifically moving, like, in that direction. And, yeah, Jason's... he's, like, looking at Jason, and then he's looking at the fire, and he's waiting, because he's begging, he's pleading. He's like, not this, anything but this, anything you want. Please not this, please not this.
Lee, we're so close with you. You just need to want it a little bit more. And then I'm pretty certain that we can get the door open.
I don't get you at all, Mamoru. Why are you doing this? Why do you care about my door?
Because I need to get out of this boring-ass world.
Oh.
I can't open doors like you. They don't like me. Worlds don't like me.
I wonder why. And yes, I am...
I know how to help kids like you open their doors. And then I can just mosey on in alongside them.
I don't want you in my world. It's the thing. I don't want you in that world.
And I think he comes back out of the door of the Not Mother's house, and he is carrying the Not Mother in his arms. And it is not blood that is leaking from her, because it's not blood that she's made of. She's not physical, but water and tears leak from her all over, from cuts. You know, I wouldn't have found this place if you hadn't escaped there the first time. I found her here, waiting. She really did just want to protect you. And maybe in that world you came from, you could save her.
Adam, looking around like, I want to save her, but I want to save everybody. I don't know. I don't want him in my world. That wouldn't go well, but can you do something about him? You're the one who's fighting. It's not me.
I'm
was
wondering
that to Grace?
Yeah, that's to Grace.
Oh. So I'm trying to decide if she is still her darkest self, because I feel like enough has happened that it's mostly a role-playing element anyway. I think it is fair to say that she has been probably still pissed, but has realized that all of her plans have gone awry. She's like, oh, shit. I mean, there's more chemicals to throw on him. I've got my knife. Set him on fire. Offense is not usually my thing, and that's what we were trying here, and it completely didn't work.
I mean, we've established at this point you are basically turning into a dragon.
I say, but you know, you've got sort of scales, and you're kind of scary looking.
Wait, what?
You have scales, and there's. I know you can see this, but it seems to be like there's a fire in your eyes.
Oh,
that wasn't there before.
Okay.
I noticed.
She tries to reach around and feels for some scales, and it's part of where she was clawed, so ouch. But also possibly where she was bitten by Bailey, that might have revealed some skin, which has some scales underneath it. And she says, well, this is fascinating. Does that help us?
I don't know. I just, okay. Maybe it helps us. We'll see. I can't leave anyone behind. It's not who I am. I guess I have to heal. So we'll step forward, letting go of Grace's hand. I will kind of talk a little so she can hear where I am. Mm-hmm. And I will say, well, Mamoru.
And were you going to say something, Jason? Sorry.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead. I just wanted to check. I saw Jason had unmuted.
Yeah, I'll just go towards him and say, Mamoru, I want to heal her, but I don't want you in my world. But what we can do is we go, if you can make my door appear, we go there, we take Grace with us, and then we'll see what's going to happen, right? That is a thing that we can do.
How many times do I need to say this, Lee? I'm only helping you make your door appear. You just don't want it enough. I'm doing all of this just to make you want it.
Fine, I want it. Do what you want. Help me then. Help me do this. Help me save her. Please.
And yeah, I guess the thing I'm going to ask here is, as you feel that door calling to you, Lee, what are you afraid is going to happen here?
I'm afraid he's going to destroy the people in there that I care about. That's what I'm afraid of. He's kind of poison. isn't he? He's gonna poison the world. My world. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that I've got to take him. I can't stop him. That's why I asked Grace to come.
Yeah, give me a roll with keep your cool.
Okay. It's a 10.
Cool. So you keep your cool and gain insight. Ask the MC a question about the situation.
How can we destroy him?
Oh. I think that as this door appears, you know that he was drawn in by Jason singing that one time at the party, at the beginning. Maybe if Jason were to sing again, he would drop his guard enough. It would pull him in enough that one of you could strike a killing blow.
Okay. And I tell him, wait a second, I just need to say goodbye to my friend here. And I walk over to Jason. I say, Jason, can you sing for him so he's distracted so we can take him down?
I mean, this doesn't seem like the most appropriate time, but if you think it will work, sure.
Maybe. He came for you. He came for your singing, Jason. You have this gift.
Jason's melodious tones.
Yeah, so that launches into a rousing rendition of Who Let the Dogs Out. And,
No, Lee will say second. If you can say something about fire, dragon, maybe. If you have a song like that.
Yeah, sure. And yeah, I think Jason's going to sort of take a moment, sort of take in a sort of deep breath and close his eyes. Probably coughs a little bit at the smoke, but clears his throat again. And yeah, I think taking inspiration from that, I think is going to go into a rendition of Fever, directed at Mamoru.
Yeah, and it's not a crowd, but let's use your haunting memory here.
Sure thing. It's a 12.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we could treat this, someone gives you a string as you immediately getting him a sway over him.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think I'm also going to pick yeah, I'm also going to pick The Crowd Goes to Where I Tell Them to Go Afterward. And someone in the crowd gives me a gift.
As you sing, Mamoru is like his eyes flip over to you, and I think as he draws closer to you, Jason, and you're singing, you see some of that human seeming of his slowly fall away as he grows and shifts into a large cat-like beast with a wide grin. And we'll get into what the gift you get is in a moment. But I'm wondering, Grace, you hear the pads of paws across the ground amidst Jason's singing, and a low purr from something big and massive. What do you do?
So where are the rest of the friends? I'm sort of near the wall while Lee has gone to talk to Jason. Grace by herself? Or
what was that?
is Grace by herself? I'm trying to get a read on where everyone is.
I assume that you were all vaguely near each other. Like, I didn't think any of you were that far apart, considering you said you had all backed up against the wall. And I think now, amidst the heat, you can definitely feel the shifting of something big just near you. And I think you can tell that this thing is vulnerable.
I think that Grace would like to use her last string on Bailey.
Oh, what are you doing?
And she will say, look, I don't know what the fuck is going on with you right now, but I do know you have claws and you have teeth. And there's this goddamn thing about to eat us all. So whatever the hell you are doing, or whatever, if you have ever cared for any of us at all, go take that thing down. Now.
Hell yeah. Sorry, that was Kay. That was Kay speaking. So
I thought Kay would like that.
Yeah. So I think in this moment, there's sort of this thing, and I this isn't maybe the most sensible choice, but it's the end of the show, so I'm going to take it. So with my advancement, I'm going to take a move from another playbook, from the dragon. I am Wrath. And I think Bailey's tongue sort of licks over his teeth where the blood and the life force he had just consumed from Grace resides. And still shaking, he staggers towards this cat that is approaching Jason in a way that he can't decide if it's menacing or if it's like seductive, but either is completely unacceptable to Bailey. His eyes sort of flash again with that feral gleam, and just this ice blue flame erupts from him, from his mouth, and onto Mamoru. So I believe I have to lash out physically.
Yeah, give me a roll with this.
Yes, I will. And I'm also going to give you a string to get a +2 on this.
Cool.
So that is a 5, 6, 7, 8. And then where's my... I think I have a -1. Yeah. So that is a 7, unless Mamoru has any conditions I can take advantage of. But I don't think that actually... Oh, wait, hold on. How many strings do you have on me, Grace?
That was
I
my
know
last
you
one.
had a lot. Oh, you
strings.
spent them all. Oh, damn. Because I know at one point you had a lot.
Yeah.
And I could have... Yeah. Oh, well. So yeah, that is a...
Yeah,
7.
that 3 harm was spending 2 strings.
Yeah, no, you're good. We could have had it all here, Grace. But, so it's a 7, but I will say they automatically take at least 1 harm.
Yeah.
because of the I am wrath.
Yeah, you harm them, but so which are you choosing though?
I'm gonna let you. What's more? I could either let you decide the harm, because I can't go darkest self because I already am.
Yeah.
Or I could let him take a string and learn something about me. I'm gonna let you decide the harm here. How bad the harm is.
Yeah. I think that as you spew forth this flame, I think that Mamaru, we know, was already pretty injured from the last encounter he had with Grace. And he goes bursting up into flames here. With a great yowling, you feel one of his paws swipes into you, and you are thrown back against the wall. We'll get into what happens there in a bit.
Oh, so what am I hallucinating?
I think that Mamaru looks like the master right now.
Oh no, after I've injured him, he looks like the master. That's not great. Okay.
Yeah. And as you go slamming against the wall, you could feel that hurt. And Mamaru, though, clashes about as he slowly crumbles into ash.
Oh God. Bailey starts full out sobbing because he just watched the master turn into ash.
Yeah.
No. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. No. And he probably starts crawling towards the ash.
And Lee, your door is still there. And beside it is the not mother.
Okay, I'm grabbing her. And I look back and say, Bailey, I'm so sorry, but I have to go.
I think before you go through, I just want to let you know that this isn't saying you can't go through. This is what the not mother is going to tell you. You know that if you go through, all this that I felt, I am all that sorrow of your mother the first time you disappeared. If you go through, she'll go through that again.
If I don't go through, you'll die. So I don't have a choice here. I find my way back. I did before.
And you go through.
Yeah, I'll go through. And I turn back and say, Grace, I'll find you. And then I'll go through.
And there, I think, is like a great gust as like the door draws inward all this space. And I think all of like the flames kind of flicker and die out until there are only the smoldering ashes of this great cat-like beast in the room. And Jason, you hear Baron. Well, that was all very exciting, wasn't it? And he looks down at Bailey. I don't know if I want this anymore. It's all broken. Do you want him? Because you still are getting a gift from someone in your audience.
Yeah, and I think I think Jason is going to turn to him and say, "Well, if you're done with him, then maybe I can take him off your hands, and you can go and find someone else to do whatever it is you do."
And he kneels down beside you, Bailey, and says, "I'm so disappointed in you, Bailey. You couldn't even kill one blind girl." And does Grace say anything to this?
Grace, if you don't mind a minor upstagement,
Yep, go ahead.
I think would like to lash out physically with this knife we have established that she has already drawn.
Go right ahead.
Can you cut up his face?
Okay,
I feel like this is definitely overkill, maybe.
Oh yeah. She has just had enough of all this shit.
Go right ahead. Let's see what happens here.
Is that an adder? I'm trying to look up these moves again.
Yeah, you get +1 to the roll.
Okay, +1. And am I still enraged?
Oh no, you get the +1 because of the because you're tapping enrage. That gives you enrage, and you deal an extra harm because of that.
Okay, so I get +1 from that, and +1 from volatile, so total of +2.
Yep.
Okay. 7 is not ideal, but so it goes.
Okay. So which of those do you want to choose? They learn something about your true nature and gain a string on you, which I'm going to interpret a little bit differently if you choose that one. It will be more related to Bailey having that. The MC decides how bad the harm turns out, or you become your darkest self, which you just left.
I feel like I was just my darkest self, so that feels redundant.
Well, I have a thought for the first
one,
if you want.
Okay, if you think that will be the most narratively interesting, then let's do that one.
Okay. As you stab into him, just tell me how you kill this guy. Because he is not seeing this coming.
So she actually has just been walking up behind him, and she will just grab his hair with one hand and just slit his throat.
And Bailey, you know what you realize as she does this?
What do I realize?
I mean, the only thing that could kill a dark power is a power that's even darker. Isn't that the case?
Yeah.
And somebody that kills a master becomes a master, as we found out from
from Helen.
Yep, from at least that's how it works in the world you came from. Doesn't that mean that Grace is sort of your true master?
Yeah, and I think I think there's like a cry of panic as he sees it at first, but then it almost washes away as he sort of watches this mirrored version of himself die.
Oh, yes, I forgot. He looks exactly like you, so you're just watching your mirror image die.
Yeah, this more confident image that looked more like the Baron before Bailey died.
And what do you say or do?
I don't think I want you anymore either.
And I think as this Baron bleeds out, and we fade to black. I think that this is where. So yeah, I think this is where we fade out as Baron is bleeding out. And after the closing of that scene, I wanted to kind of go into some epilogues here and to kind of wrap things up and see where the characters are at, if that's cool. And so I'm wondering if kind of going in character keeper order here, I'm wondering, where do we see Grace? Like, and this is something like, if you want to say that you have found your door or that you leave the world, or if you stay there, either are cool options.
Right. So I think Grace does in fact find her door. Her evolution into a dragon continues, and that sort of reforges the link between her and her world. So it makes it a thing that she can draw upon to eventually force her way back in. The old dragon she knew in her dungeon was like very much a traditional dragon with a horde and stuff like that. But Grace is a little more interesting in that she actually still is interested in being the trap maker, and she's very tactical. So she is all about still setting protecting the dungeon, protecting the things within it, and eventually realizes that there's, you really just can't live in peace, that people always come for you and try and ruin everything. And so she really has no choice but to go and conquer. So yeah, she starts doing that too.
Awesome. And I'm wondering, what do we see of Lee? Does Lee remain in the carnival upon their return?
I think what we see of Lee is, I think we see mist at first, like in a menace-looking city. Lee striding through with a pole, gathering up emotions, and then Lee goes to a barge, steps in, goes off into the mist, and I think we see them emerge from the mist in a totally different world, and there's flames on the horizon, right? And there's a huge dragon flying around, like conquering cities or something. And Lee's looking up and just not announcing themselves or anything, and just like, I would catch up with you eventually.
Oh, man. What about Bailey after all this?
So I kind of want to collaborate a little and check in, because I feel like some of this might be intertwined, David, with Jason. So do you have any specific wants or desires in terms of where they might be at after everything that happened?
Yeah. I had an idea for kind of like like immediately sort of in the aftermath. Of the sort of like the gym on fire behind them, and I think as they're kind of out there catching their breath, I think Jason is going to take the guitar string that he still has kind of looped through the collar around his neck, in between his teeth, kneel down at the floor and kind of look up at Bailey and sort of cock his head.
Oh, wow. And I think Bailey's hand is still shaking, but he takes a deep breath and he smiles. And for a moment, like your brain maybe does like a panic as it sees the same smile that Baron wore when he first approaches you. But there's something a little softer to it. It's not exactly the same, but for a moment it felt like it was, before he sort of loops his fingers into it. But instead of doing anything with it, he pulls you to your feet. So you are both standing equally astride. and kisses you.
Awesome. I like it.
Yeah.
I think I am also just because I am a sucker for the old Harryhausen films. I think we do also get that like big panning shot that goes back and up through the clouds and so on and so forth.
Yes.
And then we see kind of a couple of, gods sat around a big playing board, drinking wine and tossing dice.
Yeah, I think one of the gods looks very unhappy, and it's the one who cast you out. But the one that was in love with you, like, looks so very pleased to see you having your own mortal love and happiness.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I think that as we fade to black on that, I think that brings our series to a close after a very chaotic session. I had a ton of fun, everyone. We're gonna be doing stars and wishes after we sign off, but I wanted to thank all our players for being so great, and for anyone who decided to watch all this. It's not many people. Thanks for watching. I am going to take us off. Bye.